Welcome back to the Press Club with me, Kendall Burton. My special guest this evening, Corporal Aniel Innocent of the Police Press Relations Office of the Royal St. Lucia Police Department. Before we took our break, we were talking about the evolution of community-oriented policing. We're using the UK as an example, which our police force is modeled after. When the Pillion reforms were initiated in 1829, a long time ago, which
the time of Sir
Robert
Peel,
we really should have picked up a lot more lessons from then. So this community-oriented policing should have started a long time ago. But the officers were, from their dress to their interactions, everything was directed with a certain objective in mind. You were assigned to a geographical location. Your responsibility was to report to that location, to develop relationships, interactions with families, businesses in that community. Why hasn't that aspect of community policing been introduced in St. Lucia? We see police officers, yes, their presence is more conspicuous, but the interaction isn't there.
It is. I beg to differ. If you were to go to the community, for example, in Marcia, I had the commissioner's town hall meeting in the community of Marcia, and persons from Marcia were able to identify the police officers by the name and numbers, and that just shows that the police officers are with the community members. If you were to go to Ancillary or Canaries and you ask one of the residents for a particular police officer, they will give you information about that police officer by just probably describing him to the civilian.
Okay.
So I beg to differ. Our police officers are out there in the community. They are doing the regular patrols and whatnot. Yes, there are communities which are very large. For example, the Grosselet constituency, you have several communities in Grosselet. You may not see a police officer walking in Casaba or probably walking in Rodney Heights or whatnot. But then we do have the vehicular patrols. We have those police officers going within the communities on the vehicle. So, but in the very smaller communities where you have the substations, the stations, we do have our police officers doing the regular foot patrols.
I'm not questioning the
yes,
foot
but
patrols,
because of the foot patrols or the number of patrols, that is why I'm saying that the interaction is much greater than.
But is that encouraged? Is it?
Yes, it is encouraged. The commissioner speak about it all the time. He asks his police officers to go out there in the community to establish yourself in a community. So yes, it is very encouraged.
But you need to follow up to make sure it's being done. I don't think it's being done.
I've
not seen a police officer in my community. I've not had one. Where I've seen one, I've not had him introduce himself.
Where do you live, Mr. Button? That's probably you probably live in some hole at the back of somewhere where a police officer can't access.
When I visit my mother, the police officer is right in the front of the house. She doesn't know their name. She doesn't know their numbers. As far as I know, they've never introduced themselves.
Conversation with the police officers.
No, isn't it the police officer's responsibility to go to the business community?
Yes.
If I have a business in the area,
I
to say,
agree
okay,
with you on this point.
I am corporal, I am PC, XYZ. I have been assigned here.
I agree with you on this point, but if you realize that the police officer is not going to come to you, as a concerned citizen, you could just walk across and introduce yourself and say, Mr. Police Officer, I'm living right across from where you are standing. My name is Jane Doe, and if you realize something suspicious is happening, here's my number. You could call me. I could come to the house. I could give you some information. On the other hand, the police officer can go to this individual and give a contact number. This is how we establish community relations. And I do understand the point that you are making, but at the end of the day, if a police officer does not come to you, you could take up the initiative and go to that police officer. We are friendly people. Look at me. I am friendly. You have me here with you.
You're an exception to this. Anyway, let's move on. Let's stay on the topic of community relations. You have a number of activities that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
One of them, I guess one of the more popular ones being the Police Week,
yes,
which is actually
activities.
like a police month, right?
Yes, we have a lot.
So
yes,
why stick to the name Police Week? Why not rename it?
Because we have activities which are very important within the week itself. But yes, we do have activities preceding the actual police week, because you see, we want to reach out to everyone. We want to have activities for the younger persons. We want to have for the middle age. We want to have for the older folks. So we needed to fit in the calendar every activity. But then since it's it's just a police week, and there was not sufficient space to fit every single activity. We were using the entire month of November
so let's
to
rename
feature.
it Police Month.
The Police Week Committee, which I'm part of, has actually thought of changing it to Police Month.
We should.
Yeah, I know, because even my son who attends the police activities, and he loves these activities, and he says it should be a police month instead of a police week. It's more logical if you call it a police month.
All right, so this month, November.
Yeah, the month of November.
Give us an idea of some of the activities that you have planned.
Okay, preceding the week, we have Miss RSLPF, and Miss RSLPF was usually within
and that's
the
my favorite,
police.
My favorite.
It is everyone's favorite.
But I have an issue.
Yes, we don't have the swimsuit.
Yes.
But this year we did things quite differently. We have the ladies in swimsuit. They were at Jade Mountains just yesterday, so look out for the ladies in swimwear.
In my voice.
Yes, the ladies are in swimwear this year. So just look out for them. You could look on the police website, www.rslpf or / St. Lucia Police, and you could have a glimpse of the contestants of the Miss Royal St. Lucia Police Force.
And obviously not there this year.
And I'm not there this year. I'm on the Police Week Committee, so hopefully next year I'm going to resign the Police Week Committee and go up for Miss Public Relations.
I'll be circulating a petition.
Okay.
And I know all the media fraternity
yes,
will be
they've been asking me a lot to go up for Miss RSLPF. I think I will get the support from the media fraternity if I were to go up for Miss RSLPF.
Okay. So that's the only new dimension to it this year?
Yes, that's the only new dimension, because we want to start the police, like you call it, month of activities with a Miss RSLPF Queen.
So you have a queen reading over all your activities?
Yes,
right.
yes. That and other activities which is very dear to us is the regional calypso competition, where we have police officers from around the region coming in competing for the title of Regional Calypso King. We have our debate during the week itself.
That's very popular.
Yes,
as well, yeah?
We have the panel discussion, and this year's topic is the effects of crime on society, and we have ACP Crime on that panel. We have Dr. King, we have the director of Bodley Correctional Facility, we have a young convict, we have a older convict. So this is going to be a very, very
convicts or ex-convicts?
Ex-convicts. Okay. I'm sorry, ex-convicts. Interesting panel. We also have a commissioner's spelling bee right around the corner. That's for the younger individuals, because we want to touch everybody. We want to reach out to everyone in the community. We also have the police train, like I mentioned earlier, where we go. This day is solely to give back. We just want to let persons know that we do appreciate them. We are going to give out hampers. We are going to renovate houses. Every station in every community, every station or department is supposed to give back something to the jurisdiction that they are in. We're going to start the week with a church service, and that church service will be at Viewfort. We will have our sports day in Viewfort. We also have hikes. We have a walk. I think it's from Babudo to Denver. We're going to use the Rainforest Trail, is it? Yes. We do have also the police walk in the week itself.
That's a separate?
Yes, separately from the hike from Babudo to Denver. What am I missing from this week? I think I've mentioned the majority of the activity in the week itself. Oh, we are going to conclude Police Week with an awards night. So we are going to award the various stations and departments which have surpassed the quota. We are going to highlight those police officers who has done tremendously within the year.
Quotas of arrests, seizures, what?
Well, yes, you have if you have the most seizures, for example, the Marine unit last year, they obtained unit of the year because of the number of intercepts that they have had. The drug unit also made it up there because they have had also a lot of interdictions, whether it's with the assistance of the Marine unit or whether it's on land. So there are those police officers who excel in policing. They attend court regularly. They
is that to suggest, Corporal, that I might be being mischievous, but is it to suggest that a police officer in confronting, arresting an individual who appears overzealous, might be trying to meet a quota?
No, 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 no. We do not. No, we do not send our police officers to arrest as many individuals as possible.
So why have a
Our
quota to begin with? Why not just reward good service or professionalism or exceptional performance?
Well, that too is part of the criteria for choosing whether it's a constable, the sergeant, or the inspector of the year. No,
see,
no,
the
no.
traffic department, let's try to write 1,000 tickets this week.
And you say,
so
we don't
for the
look
slightest infraction.
It's not a matter of writing 1,000 tickets. It's whether out of the 1,000 tickets, all of them are going to stand. Because I'm not just going to go out on the road and giving tickets for giving tickets sake. And our primary role is not to arrest, but it's also it's in the prevention or the commission of a crime.
And I want to talk a little bit about crime prevention as well before we end. So thanks for introducing that subject.
Yes, you're supposed to, you can use your discretion as a police officer and caution an individual. So it's not all about going out there and arresting an individual or hauling him in just because you saw him smoking by the road, as much as smoking is an offense. But as a police officer, you can use a discretion and ask the person to destroy the marijuana, how do you call it? The spliff that you're smoking. Yes. So it's not just I'm going out there today and I'm going to arrest every single individual I see for smoking smoking marijuana joint just because I want to meet a quota. So we have other aspects that we are going to use to come up with our constable, like our inspector, our sergeants of the year.
I've been itching to ask somebody this question, and it keeps sleeping in my mind. But since I have you here, citizens' arrests. I see police officers committing offenses a lot. And since I don't have a dashboard cam to capture it sometimes, in a situation like that, what's recourse is available to the citizen who witnesses a police officer in the commission of an offense, whether minor or not?
Can you please be more specific? Are you talking about those seatbelt offenses or a police officer behaving disorderly? Or we have the police complaints unit. If you have seen a police officer who has done something which is contrary to the laws of St. Lucia, you could take the police off. If he is wearing uniform, you could take his number, because that is how we identify police officers. If not, you know the name of the police officer, you go to the complaints unit and you put in a complaint, and it is up to the police complaints unit or the police complaints commission to carry out an investigation into the incident that you have brought to their attention. And
this is another area, I think, I don't know to what degree you do it. You spoke earlier about your function as the press relations officer. A lot of the information you send out tends to be of a certain nature. And I feel like as much as is happening in the police force, a lot of information doesn't get out to the public. And I think when the complaints unit receives complaints, carries out investigations, and these investigations are carried out to fruition, and disciplinary action of one kind or another is taken, is enough attention being given to that? Is that publicized enough? Because I think that there's a perception in the public that these complaints will not go anywhere.
Yes, and I think that is one of the concerns that I'm bringing to the Commissioner's attention. We do have this internal document which highlights the penalties of police officers who have committed an offense, whether it's neglect of duty, whether it's an assault. But it is usually a civilian who brings a civilian or a supervisor who brings a complaint against a police officer.
What I'm asking is it publicized enough?
No, it is not publicized, because this document remains with the
Can we look forward to you doing that?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Because I think it will help boost public confidence.
Yes. If it's an incident where the police officer is arrested and charged, then yes, the public relations department is going to divulge the information. But if it's an internal matter, like we have our orderly room, what we call our orderly room, where the superintendent presides over matters where a complaint is made against a police officer by the complaint unit, whether it's 5 days pay, 5 days pay or 10 days pay, or whether you're suspended for 5 days and whatnot. But it is happening. It happens regularly. We have the documentation to show. It's just that we don't put it out there in the public.
I'm not suggesting that you do that in every instance. So if Corporal or Sergeant X is disciplined, that you put his name out in the media. But what I'm saying is at regular intervals, maybe on a monthly basis, we can see X number of officers were disciplined. You know, just that the public has some confidence in this complaints unit that is functioning, that if I bring a complaint, that it will be addressed, I will get satisfaction. Or even if it's not publicized, does the person making the complaint at least get the courtesy of a telephone call to let them know that
Yes,
action is being taken?
he or she is always at the hearing. He is required to be at that hearing. And that is a great idea. We can, at the end of the month, give the public an insight as to the number of persons, the number of police officers who have been fined. We as much as the names will not be released, but then, yes, we could see that 15 police officers were taken to orderly room during the month of September, and out of the 15 police officers, 10 of them were fined for, or they were fined, they were found to have committed the discretions or the offenses that it was that was stated to the to our functioning complaints unit.
I know that's outside of your ability to respond to. So I'm going to give you a message for the commissioner. And we're talking about discipline, and I like the Jamaican system where officers are reviewed on a regular basis and a decision made whether to re-enlist them or not. And I know maybe corruption has been an issue here, not lately, maybe not to the degree that Jamaica has. But do you think a system like that could work here?
Where the commissioner has to review...
Where police officers' performance is reviewed on a regular basis, whether it's 6 months or a year, and a decision made on performance or as a result of investigations or disciplinary action taken against you, that you will not be allowed to re-enlist in the police department. You cannot continue functioning as a police department, because it seems to be working well in Jamaica in reading the police force of corrupt officers. Also, a route that they've gone, I think from the 1990, I think, they started recruiting commissioners from outside the police department, you know, to break this wall of
corruption,
blue silence, that's what we call it, and where police officers watch out for each other, stick up for each other. So if a police officer rises through the ranks, become police commissioner, there's a sense that he might have some sense of obligation, you know, to his comrades, to his colleagues. So he might not be as aggressive in dealing with the issues as somebody coming from outside. And I think what they did in Jamaica was to start bringing people from outside the police force. In this case, in 1990, they brought in, it might have been a senior moment, the name doesn't come to mind now, but they brought him in, and he was a member of the defense force. Immediately he went to work, and a number of police officers were dismissed from the Jamaica police force, and every year it happens.
Thankfully for the Royal Central Police Force, this is not the style where just because Mr. Vernon Faswai is the Commissioner of Police, he's going to recruit Corporal Innocent to become the next Commissioner of Police. Everybody has to work his way up, and because of that, we have appraisals.
The issue is not with the process.
I know.
Okay.
We have appraisals, and based on your appraisals, you can be recommended. There's also the examination process now for promotions. So a sergeant cannot recommend that Aniel is going to be promoted to be corporal just because he likes me or just because he's very fond of me. Everybody has to go through the process and through elimination. Whoever does better, there's both a physical and theoretical aspect of it. Then this is how you're going to choose who is going to be the next corporal of police or the next inspector of police. Nobody is groomed to be the commissioner of police just because somebody is very fond of them. Everybody has to work their way up the chains, and this is what I like about the Royal Central Police Force, where you do not give preferential treatment to anyone just because you are fond of them. Everybody has to work to become who they are or where they are within the ranks of the Royal Central Police Force.
Okay, Corporal Innocent, we'll be calling you Sergeant Innocent anytime soon.
Mr. Commissioner, you are watching the program. Will Mr. Button be calling me Sergeant anytime soon? I don't think so. I think I have to work for my rank or Sergeant. I have to ensure that I'm working diligently, I am doing what is required of me, I am proving to the Commissioner or the members of the Royal Central Police Force that I am fit to be the next supervisor.
Okay, let's talk about crime prevention. We've spoken about your relationship with the media, relationship with the community. You've made some major headway in terms of resolving a number of cases. We heard this week from the ACP, Crime and Prosecution, Francis Henry, about some of the achievements that you've made. A lot of investigations are ongoing. Kudos to the Marine Police Unit,
Yes.
who've outperformed some of the RSS colleagues. Although I'm told from reliable sources, let's not go there. But congratulations to Mr. Milton Daisy and his team.
Yes.
The
And you need
Marine
to
Police
also
Unit.
acknowledge the drug unit, the special services unit, and you don't want to single out any station or department, because every station and department is working just as hard as the Marine unit and the drug unit and the special services unit. Usually it's a combined effort in solving crimes. So I don't want to single out any one unit and make the other unit feel like they're not working. So if you are going to commend unit, you need to commend all other units of and stations and departments of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. We don't want anybody to feel left out or anyone to feel that we take more pride in highlighting a special unit just because of the number of intercepts that they have. It is a collaborative effort. Every police officer is pulling the weight.
Okay, so how much weight is being pulled as far as crime prevention? You know, you've been achieving success in arrests and seizures, but how much effort is going into crime prevention? We don't hear much about that.
We do a lot of sensitizing. We have the various units who have gone into, for example, the traffic department has now gone into taking the database virtual. You have the Marine unit who are doing the regular sea patrols. You have the drug unit using intelligence to find out where you have the marijuana plantations. You have members of the public. I need to say thank you to those members of the public who are working hand in hand with the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, because like you know, without information from members of the public, you cannot solve I'm not saying you cannot, but you may not solve as many of the incidents that we are having lately. And persons need to show an appreciation for the effort that we are putting into making it a safer environment for all. And we need to do so with members of the public. We need persons to be more cooperative. We do understand that, yes, we do have the times when our police officers will lapse, but at the end of the day, we are all human, and we're just asking for the support to continue growing so we could bring a better results for the persons, the customers that we are serving.
You spoke about environment, and when we talk about crime prevention, there's so much that's involved in crime prevention, including environment. I'm wondering, to what degree is security considerations playing a role when it comes to designing infrastructure? You know, are the police called upon often? Are there members, or is there a team within the police force looking at crime prevention specifically that sits maybe with the DCA or companies like Lucilec and makes recommendations on street lighting, derelict or abandoned buildings, vehicles, which can serve as
yes, we do
Are
work.
you involved in that?
Yes, we do work in collaboration with those agencies. Just recently, we had the traffic department removing those derelict vehicles from the road. We had the special services officers destroying, going into the what do you call, quote unquote, the ghettos, and destroying those benches or those houses which will facilitate criminal activities. We have since place of the CCTV cameras, and that has helped a lot in deterring criminal activities. So we are emphasizing a lot in crime prevention, as well as asking members of the public to assist us in making it safer for them. So we are going out there, we are putting up the technology, we are going out there destroying whatever means that the criminals are going to use to commit those criminal offenses.
Okay, we have a few seconds left, so I'm going to give you the opportunity. I know when, apart from the quarterly media meetings with the commissioner, you don't get an opportunity to interact with the media collectively, so I'm going to allow you to use this forum, the press club. Any parting words or messages that you want to impart to your media colleagues?
Yeah.
I like to refer to you as a media colleague. I think of you as one of us.
We don't just use the Commissioner's Town Hall meeting or our quarterly press conference to speak to members or interact with members of the public.
I don't see you very often. You come to my office and spend time with me.
But we have 2 radio programs. We have Call the Police on Radio St. Lucia every Wednesday from 1 o'clock. From 2 o'clock to 3:30. We have Police Vibes on a Saturday from 1 to 2. So we have the school lectures. We have all the avenues that we use to interact with the public. And before I leave, if there is one thing I'd like to say to the public, is that we need the support of you in order to make it a safer environment for all. We need persons to come forward to stop enabling the criminals. You realize something suspicious is happening. Do not wait for you to be caught in the cross lines of bullets being fired for you to come out and see. It's been 2 years since I've realized that suspicious activities have been taking place just next door. We need to be each other's keepers. Crime is everybody's business. We don't expect you to just come out every time an incident happens and blame the police for not being able to prevent it. We need you to tell us where this is happening. We need you to facilitate the police with information so we could act out and solve crimes or prevent it from happening and whatnot. It is a collaborative effort. We need you to work alongside the public, and that is what we are gearing towards, community policing, where we're going to build that synergy, that bond between the community and the pub and the police. So whatever is happening, we need to know, we need to be there, we need to assist you, we need to make it a safer environment, whether it's for your children, whether it's for you. Everybody has to be concerned citizens. So with that said, and we're hoping that persons look at the Royal St. Lucia Police Force differently. Instead of bashing us when we go wrong, we need to support us when we are doing the good. And trust me, we are doing a lot of good.
And conversely, I want to say the same thing to you about the media. Let us know what's happening, keep us informed. Let's build a relationship that we've established so far and make it a lot stronger, and hopefully we can get information a lot quicker and in a more timely fashion.
We are giving information quickly. I beg to differ. We are giving information quickly.
In less than 4 hours. Thank you very much, Corporal Aniel Innocent of the Police Press Relations Officer. Office, that is, for being here with us on the Press Club. We consider you one of us, a media person as well. And you study media as well, right?
Oh yes, I just completed my course in mass media and communications. I'm actually graduating on the 13th of October, so I consider myself to be now one of the media.
You might be leaving the police force anytime.
No, Mr. Commissioner,
come and join us on DBS. Yeah. No. Thank you very much for viewing. Next week we'll have one of our regular guests back on, one of the media persons. We want to thank you very much for coming and joining us this time around, Corporal Innocent. Thank you again for watching. We'll be back next week. You've been watching the Press Club on DBS with me, Kendall Burton. Good night.